What's going on, everybody? I'm Darren Criss, and you're watching That Media Show, the only show that talks about movies, indie film, and post-production. It's like watching Entertainment Weekly, except with only the good stuff and a lot less fluff. The UK's Channel 4 has painstakingly recreated the set of the Stanley Kubrick film The Shining as part of their More 4 season, which spotlights Kubrick films and the director. In a 65-second spot shot in one take, we get a complete walkthrough of the recreated set. 55 actors, meticulous research, a cast and crew which is a spot-on reproduction of the original film was created by Channel 4's in-house team, Channel 4 Creative Services. Stu Maschwitz, co-founder of The Orphanage, a post-production company in San Francisco, and the author of the DV Rebels Guide, has posted an article where he links to White, Red, Panic, the short film by director Ayaz Warich. The film, shot completely on a Canon HV30 without any special equipment, is available on Vimeo and runs at about 8 minutes in length. There are before and after stills, which show the color correction process, and a thread on the forums on the Rebel Cafe where the director talks about the short. Also on the Rebels Guide is a discussion about 1,000 Words, the film by Sean Kennedy of Mac Dad Productions, which features a woman, presumably in the future, taking photos with what we'll just call a camera thing. The effects created with off-the-shelf software are far better than you'd expect for a short film. And to complete our Stu Orphanage love fest, Frank Miller, author and co-director of Sin City, has directed a new movie called The Spirit, which involved a number of Sin City-esque special effects, which, like Sin City, involved work by The Orphanage. Miller, who is by now famous as a writer, artist, and a newfound director, has a great entry at Comic Book Movie where he talks about the role of computer-generated images and how Stu Maschwitz takes him to school on the subject. Speaking of effects, the Visual Effects Society has posted what can only be described as a Jerry Maguire-style manifesto about the state of visual effects in the entertainment industry. This 12-page document has caused quite a stir as a frank and unfiltered discussion about the changing role of visual effects and digital work in film. The document examines conditions in the visual effects industry with a list of suggestions about how post-production and production need to work together more closely. A thought-provoking bombshell for their first foray into writing what they are calling a white paper. Paul Del Vecchio from Triple E Productions has posted his grand prize-winning short film for the Weinstein Company and George Romero's Diary of the Dead DVD competition. Triple E's first film, Forever, won awards at both the Long Island Film Festival and the Big Fish Film Festival. The final day, his short film will be featured on the DVD release of The Diary of the Dead. David Fincher, director of Seven, The Game, Fight Club, Panic Room, and Zodiac, has been busy working on The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, starring Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett. Button is an adaptation of the F. Scott Fitz Hemingway story originally published in 1922. The film, which has gone through more ups and downs than the price of gas, was originally written by Robin Swickard and to be directed by Ron Howard, and starring John Travolta, but then Charlie Kaufman wrote a draft to be directed by Spike Jonze. Jim Taylor was involved at some point in the story, and even Eric Roth wrote a version. Warner and Paramount joined forces to co-produce the film, dropping Gary Ross, who was slated to direct. Finally, David Fincher got involved, and the film is slated for a December 19th release date, pushed from May and then November. The latest version of the film is written by Eric Roth, who wrote the screenplay for Forrest Gump, Ali, The Insider, and Munich. Spike Jonze just isn't getting any breaks. After his loss on Benjamin Button, his other film, Where the Wild Things Are, written by author Dave Eggers, was completed and shown in LA to select audiences, and then dropped by Warner Brothers, who says they are looking to, quote, completely reshoot the entire film, which had a budget of $75 million. Warner cited, "The film is too weird and too scary, and that character of Max, who is the main character, is just not likable in the film." The LA audiences lucky enough to see the film have reacted by saying it's dark and subversive and more of an adult film and not suitable for children large or small. Jonze has said, "Do you really want this movie to be relegated to the level of children's movies like Cat in the Hat or How the Grinch Stole Christmas?" No accounting for taste over at Warner Brothers, I suppose. Fincher also announced a movie version of Rendezvous with Rama, which could please die-hard Arthur C. Clarke fans, as it, like Fight Club, has been called unfilmable. Fincher recently directed an Apple 3G iPhone commercial spot called Hallway, which was shot in New York at the Fifth Avenue store and shown at the WWDC 08 as the iPhone launch video. Fincher was working on a remake of the cult classic Heavy Metal, but unfortunately it was scrapped. Warner Brothers, true to form, announced the simultaneous release of both the DVD and Blu-ray version of the runaway hit film Speed Racer on September 16th. The 3-disc set will contain both the film as well as the DVD game Speed Racer Crucible Challenge, and the Blu-ray version contains a digital copy for your iPod or iPhone or other media player. According to sources, the Blu-ray version of the Matrix trilogy, also by the Wachowski brothers, will be released on the same day. OpenCut, the open-source project dedicated to filming, sharing, and having contests which revolve around editing footage from the Red One camera, has announced OpenCut 2, the Alpine Meadows shoot. Their first project, OpenCut 1, was a short film with a $25 entry fee where you were given footage and a script and edited a short film shot on the Red. They just announced Carson Kirpanik as the winner of the first OpenCut. For OpenCut 2, you will edit a 60 to 90 second commercial spot. There's a $75 entry fee, and you have to provide your own hard drive. Like the first OpenCut, which offered an Aja IO HD system as the main prize and 1 week of Red camera rental, the new contest features a G-Speed raid, 1 week Red rental, and an Alpine Meadows season pass as prizes. The next contest, called OpenCut 3, looks to be a music video. Speaking of Red, they recently released Red Rushes, a batch processing application which converts Red footage into TIFF, DPX, and QuickTime files. Avid DNX HD users are currently out of luck, but the tool is very handy for moving footage around to all those applications that don't support the Red codec, including most Windows-based systems. Smoke and Mirrors led the visual effects for the new Subaru spot, Fly Out, which features a bird sanctuary and many rare bird species. A flock of literally thousands of birds fly over a photographer and a Subaru, of course, and no actual birds were used anywhere in the spot. All the work was done by the creative team of Sean Broughton, who led Phil Aka, Kirk Baldwin, and others in creating the whole scene on their Flame system using 2K, HD, and SD footage. Speaking of Flame, Autodesk will be at SIGGRAPH 2008 demonstrating their software, which includes Stitcher, Flame, Image Modeler, Maya, Mudbox, Motion Builder, Toxic, and just about every other high-end 3D compositing and modeling tool. Autodesk will be hosting masterclasses during the show on August 11th to August 14th. And finally, Digital Tutors, the training company with a spotty record at delivering high-quality training videos, has released the Artist's Guide to XSI 7 along with help from Softimage, the creators of XSI. Softimage has recently released XSI Ice. Try saying that 3 times fast. Ice is an open platform for changing, and some might say programming, how XSI 3D effects and tools work. It uses a node-based approach and takes advantage of parallel processing and multi-processor systems. It's complicated, but should make 3D tool developers, especially those who use XSI, very happy. I'm Darren Criss, and that's all for this week. Next week, we'll talk more about Comic-Con and the movies discussed there, several visual effects houses and their projects, and then we'll take a closer look at SIGGRAPH 2008. All this and more on That Media Show. Channel 4 has painstakingly recreated the set of You know when you just have a sneeze wanting to come, but it won't? I just want, it's so annoying. It's like, come on, man, I just want to fucking sneeze that shit. As part of their More Force season, which spotlights Kubrick's films, and the... Oh, shit, man. Fincher also announced a movie version of Rendezvous with Rama, which could please die-hard I need water. OpenCut, the open-source project dedicated to me not being able to read words ever. Hey, I'm Darren Criss.
And I'm Laura Lee.
And you're watching That Media Show, and it's not Access Hollywood for VFX.
It's not?
I don't know, you might want to take it up with Mr. Adam Wilder.
It's a weekly show about film post-production and visual effects. This episode of That Media Show is proudly sponsored by FX Guide, a visual effects and post-production community.
Founded by 3 award-winning visual effects artists, Jeff Huser, John Montgomery, and Mike Seymour.
FX Guide features news articles and interviews about post-production and visual effects. The new Harry Potter film, The Half-Blood Prince, has been delayed until summer 2009. The Los Angeles Times has a great article entitled Harry Potter and the Revolt of the Muggles, which chronicles the fans' reaction to the delay in the Potter film.
Jeff Gresh of the Half Bad Network has created a 20-part sci-fi serial called The Competition. The plot is basically a group of hackers try to decipher the mysteries of the Infotronics Corporation headquartered on the Hudson River. If you like Cloverfield or Lost, you'll probably like The Competition. It is, to say the very least, weird, but, you know, good weird. The Mill, a visual effects company in London, New York, and recently Los Angeles, has released several behind-the-scenes videos for Roboboy and other commercial work they've done. The Mill is mostly known for their work on Ridley Scott's film Gladiator.
Vampires. Now that's a genre that hasn't been abused to death by movies and television, but the new HBO series True Blood has a great new take on it. It's created by Alan Ball of American Beauty and 6 Feet Under and premieres on September 7th. Starring Anna Paquin as a sorta not a vampire character. Like the first episode of 6 Feet Under, True Blood is mesmerizing in all the right ways.
Speaking of HBO, Trent Reznor's Year Zero may become an HBO series according to Hero Complex. Year Zero is a dark, futuristic tale that Reznor has created with his music and with the celebrated video game from 42 Entertainment, but he's trying to turn it into a 2-season series. Reznor has called this project his grand ambition, and given what he's done with his career, we just can't wait to see it.
Cinema 4D Release 11 was presented at SIGGRAPH. In addition to a bunch new features, some of the major ones are nonlinear animation and 64-bit on Mac OS X. Apparently, Sony Pictures pushed Cinema 4D to the limit with Hancock, Speed Racer, and Beowulf, and the ending result is much better matte painting. The core price of Cinema 4D version 11 comes in at about $8.95, where the studio bundle is about the price of Maya.
Zeb's blog tells us about a new short movie called Octopody from the French school Les Gobelins, and winner of the general prize at SIGGRAPH as well as the audience prize. The short movie is definitely worth checking out, and the website even has a cool making-of video. The CW, America's favorite network, is now launching an all-new 90210, and their tagline is
New drama, same zip code.
And it starts September 2nd. Gone are the days of Dylan and Brenda and Brandon. They've sadly been replaced with Annie, played by Shanae Grimes from,
Degrassi, The Next Generation.
It's supposedly a contemporary spin-off and not a remake, complete with the same teen angst, only this time it's more politically correct and to a pitch-perfect fault, I'd say.
It's no OC.
It can't be. That's for sure. Well, that's it for this week. I'm Darren Criss, and unfortunately, this is my last time hosting that media show. So, Larly, please take it away.
Tune in next week when we dig deeper into the strange and sometimes scary world of film, post-production, and visual effects. And of course, thanks for watching.
I don't know, you might want to take it up with Adam Wilder. Company in London, New York, and recently Los Angeles has recently on my face. I think moving up to $1.75. So
you ready?
Watch for your information.
What was it? The lady in the Shyamalan Ding Dong?
Yeah, Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Oh my god.
Alright, speed.
Scene 5, take 2.
The CW, America's favorite network. The CW, America's favoriteest network. The CW, America's favorite network, is launching a new 902. I'm sorry, I said it again.
Okay, camera speed.
Effects guide, take 2.
Thank you. I really
Hey, I'm Darren Criss, and you're watching That Media Show. I'd like to start by mentioning 12 Ford, the sponsor of this week's episode. 12 Ford is a post-production facility and one of the best post houses in Dallas and beyond. They recently upgraded their facility to handle red footage, grading using Assimilate's scratch color system, and they do sound editing, visual effects, and sound design. They even have TLC, an in-house chef. I wish I had an in-house chef. I just have Hot Pockets. Hydraulics, the post-production company behind the effects of Wanted, The Hulk, Jumper, 300, Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, and many more films, have updated their site to include demo reels and even more about the company and their work. It's very much worth checking out, and like everything they do, it just looks really amazing. Side note, they are doing the effects for the Wolverine spin-off movie and David Fincher's new film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, starring Brad Pitt. The highly anticipated summer blockbuster Batman: The Dark Knight was finally released last week. Mike Seymour of FX Guide and FX PhD and nerd god Kevin Smith, the director of Clerks 1 and 2, have both called The Dark Knight this generation's Godfather 2. That's high praise indeed. With a production budget of $180 million, Christopher Nolan made a choice. He wanted to use the least number of digital effects possible while still creating an amazing film. Nolan wanted the Cape Crusader to actually base jump for real life off an 88-story building in Hong Kong and land on a passing C-130 cargo plane. 3 weeks of production later, a stuntman is hanging from a helicopter with another copter following him with a camera. That's really cool. Heath Ledger, who plays the Joker, unfortunately died in January, only 28 years old. His performance, which is completely mind-boggling in the film, is already generating Oscar buzz. Hellboy 2, The Golden Lobotomy, is in theaters now with a first week intake of $35 million. If you saw like I did, you might be wondering what happened to Abe Sapien, codenamed Blue's breathing apparatus and goggles in the second half of the film. Was he just suddenly magically able to breathe 30 minutes into the film after the power of love consumes his body? I don't know. That aside, Double Negative did some really awesome special effects and can't be blamed for little holes in the plot like Abe Sapien's breathing apparatus. Guillermo del Toro, the director of Pan's Labyrinth, ostensibly a fairy tale, is slated to direct Doctor Strange, the misunderstood, magic-wielding bad guy from the Fantastic Four, of course you know, will be released in 2010. The Hobbit in 2011 and The Hobbit 2 in 2012. The man is very busy. Peter Jackson is producing The Hobbit, and we have it on pretty good authority that the rights to the story were negotiated with Saul Zaentz and not with New Line Cinema, the latter of whom was involved with Peter Jackson in a lawsuit. Peter Jackson is overseeing the production of a movie version of the Bungie-gone Microsoft game Halo. Meanwhile, Christian Rivers, the animation expert from Lord of the Rings, is helping out with James Cameron's 3D epic Avatar. FX Guide has posted a staggeringly great podcast interview with Motion Theory in California. They're the ones who are responsible for the Pork and Beans Weezer music video, which features a number of well-known internet celebrities like the evolution of dance's Judson Lipley and Chocolate Rain singer Tayson Day, and even Dorkman, and even the Star Wars kid. I love that guy. The work done by Motion Theory ranges from videos to an impressive O2 commercial called Connections, directed by Matthew Cullen and Grady Hall, and widely regarded as one of the best commercials this year. Microsoft and Netflix announced plans to launch a new service on Xbox Live in late fall, which allows Xbox Live Gold members to choose from 10,000 Netflix streaming movie options and have them delivered directly to their Xbox 360, which Microsoft says will start playing within 30 seconds. No announcement on whether or not the movies would be in HD, but if it's anything like the previous Netflix or Microsoft offerings, the answer is most likely a resounding no, and the video will be just better than YouTube, if barely. The first episodes of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog are out, and they are, as expected, the kind of thing that only Joss Whedon can deliver. It's Firefly meets Blogger Girl meets Rocky Horror meets something that we've never really seen before. The Laundromat song alone, with Dryers opening and Neil Patrick Harris pining over his love interest, takes the show to the next level of absurdity, which, of course, is followed by the next level, something equally and, if not more, absurd. And remember, kids, it's a social commentary hero fantasy, so if you don't get that, you're not really going to get the show. So I'm Darren Criss, and you've been watching That Media Show, the only media show worth watching in the known universe.
So, did you happen to catch the new Indiana Jones by any chance?
Yeah, I did. It was their opening day in Berlin.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Hardcore fan?
Yeah, it was.
In Berlin, what'd you think of it?
I think it's good that I saw it with Berliners and not loud Americans, because there was much to be said. What's your position?
You say no one liked it? Is that? What
You know,
you saying?
they like it on a different level. They're like, oh, very cool. It's an Indiana Jones. It's fun.
Liked it on a hate level, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, what do you think of those capoeira monkeys with the same hairdo as Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, well, I was actually wondering if that was like going to be a motif for the rest of the movie, but
I don't know. I'm down with monkeys with cool hairdos and CG gophers.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible stuff. I mean, the
I think
whole,
so too. Yeah, really out of control.
yeah, I mean, I was shocked. I gotta be honest, I was shocked.
You're shocked with the light, or
Just in a bad way. It was.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's just me. I mean, I don't know if you. I didn't mean to ruin this.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm actually sparing you from a couple rants
Really?
myself.
Really?
Yeah. I think that George Lucas has lost his mind, and they are secretly trying to find it.
My opinion is that he's a really imaginative kid. He
Yeah.
has a lot of really good ideas, but they probably shouldn't let him anywhere near any screenplay software.
At all,
or,
yeah.
typewriters, things like
Yeah.
that. You know, it's my humble opinion.
All
I'm just,
right,
you know,
I'll
I
go
just,
with
you know, absolutely. Well, I don't know anything.
Exactly. But if George Lucas were in this room, I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, you're amazing, sir. I love you. I love you.
I would get him whatever he needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, George Lucas.
George, if you need anything, I will be your home servant.
You're the man, George. He's the man.
He's the man. Just capoeira monkeys is a bad idea.
That media show.
All right, That
Roll
Media
one,
Show.
Scene 3, take 52.